Hello and welcome back to A Little Less Lisa. Today's video is going to be about 7 myths that I would like to debunk about GLP-1 medications. And by GLP-1 medications, I'm referring to mounjaro, zepbound, tirzepatide, ozempic, Wegovy, and semaglutide. So let's get into these 7 myths. Make sure you stay all the way to the end because number 7, in my mind, is probably the most important. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lisa, hence the name of the channel. I am currently on a weight loss journey. I take compounded tirzepatide, which is the active ingredient or what mounjaro and zepbound are made from. But because of the shortages in these medications, the FDA does allow compounding pharmacies to make this medication in order to accommodate for the shortages that are out there at the moment. So like I said, I am taking compounded tirzepatide. I do get that through a very reputable telehealth company. I will be doing a video all about telehealth companies and why I think they're a great option, whether you are on branded or not branded, but stay tuned because that video will be coming soon. But like I said, thanks for joining me and let's get into these 7 myths. So number 1 is that this medication, or GLP-1 specifically, and if you don't know what GLP-1 means or stands for, it's an acronym for glucagon-like peptide, and specifically peptide 1, so GLP-1, that this is new. And in fact, these medications are not new at all. The GLP-1 hormone was actually discovered in 1987, and it was found to be effective in stimulating insulin. So it was originally studied and thought to be beneficial for diabetic patients, obviously, who were struggling with insulin production. The first GLP-1 agonist receptor was exenatide, and it was approved by the FDA in 2005 to treat type 2 diabetes. Following the approval of exenatide, another GLP-1 agonist was approved called liraglutide, also known as Victoza, which was approved in 2010, again for the use in type 2 diabetes patients, and Saxenda, which was approved in 2014 for the use in weight loss. So as you can see from this little brief history here, GLP-1 medications have been used as far back as 2005, 2006. So the efficacy and the safety of these medications has been able to be studied, like I said, since 2005 or 6. So we're talking about 18 to 19 years, depending on what you're talking about, at least as it relates to diabetics. Now, obviously, the first version of this medication was approved in 2014, and I'm talking about Saxenda here, for the use in weight loss. And that was, like I said, done in 2014, which is now 10 years later. So again, we have some pretty good research and data on the efficacy, like I said, of these medications, but also the safety. Myth number 2. If you take Ozempic, it's going to cause Ozempic face. All right, let's talk about this, okay? There is nothing about a GLP-1 or a GLP-1 and GIP, if you're talking about, tirzepatide, there is nothing inherent in those medications that causes someone to have Ozempic face. What is Ozempic face? Ozempic face is when you lose volume in your face and it appears sunken in. I'll pop up a picture here of what's her face? Sharon Osbourne, because I think she's sort of the poster child for Ozempic face. And yes, I do believe she took Ozempic, but it has nothing to do with Ozempic, guys, okay? The fact of the matter is that anytime you have especially rapid weight loss, you will lose global facial volume, okay? And what that means is that you will lose volume in your face, just like you lose volume from other parts of your body. The difference is that it's very noticeable on your face because you don't have that much fat on your face, right? So you lose that. And then if you're talking about somebody of my age or perhaps older, it becomes maybe even more pronounced with rapid weight loss because just by virtue of aging, our faces lose volume. So it tends to lend itself even more to maybe some of that gaunt look that you're seeing. But again, it is just merely a function of weight loss and has nothing to do with the medications. Number 3 is hair loss and muscle loss. Let's talk about hair first. Basically, let's just rinse and repeat, no pun intended here for the hair, to what I just said for Ozempic face, okay? Again, anytime you have rapid weight loss, it can put unusual stress on the body, which then may cause temporary hair shedding over several months. Again, it has absolutely nothing to do with the GLP-1 medication you're taking and has everything to do with the weight loss that you are experiencing, mostly due to perhaps the pace or the quickness at which you're losing weight. The same can be seen in bariatric surgery weight loss patients, again, who are generally losing weight at a fairly quick pace, certainly at least, for the first probably year. Again, it is that stress that it's being put on your body that causes the hair to be lost. So again, we're seeing it in bariatric patients, so it has nothing to do with the medicine that you're taking, but again, is merely a symptom or a side effect of your rapid weight loss. Now let's talk about muscle. When you lose weight, you will lose some combination of both fat and muscle. It is just a part, again, of losing weight. And honestly, you can't really prevent it completely, but you can do some things to prevent at least, more loss of muscle than you need to. But again, if you are talking about rapid weight loss, which, can happen when you are on these medications, you will be more likely to lose some additional lean muscle than perhaps if you're doing it at a slower pace. So this is why doctors really recommend a high protein diet combined with resistance training so that you can combat some of that muscle loss and try to maximize your fat loss while preserving as much of your lean muscle mass as you can. But regardless, you will lose some lean muscle anytime you lose weight. Myth number 4, you have to titrate or go up on your dose every 4 weeks. All right, let's talk about this one, okay? So this came from the fact that the studies that were done both by Novo Nordisk, which is the manufacturer of Ozempic and Wegovy, which is based on semaglutide, and Eli Lilly, they're going by just Lilly now, so we'll just call them Lilly, who produces Mounjaro and Zepbound, which is made from tirzepatide. When both of those drug companies did their studies to be, to submit to the FDA on behalf of those drugs to be approved, they were done based on the participants titrating up or going up in dose every 4 weeks. Now, that is then what was recommended by these drug companies as they rolled them out, okay? But what doctors and even what the drug companies are now saying is that you really only need to titrate up to the next dose when you are no longer seeing results. So if you get to the point let's take tirzepatide because that's what I'm on and that's the dosing that I'm more familiar with, okay? So everyone starts out on a 2.5 milligram dose on tirzepatide. Let's say you take that and you are losing well and it is now week 9 and, you were sort of consistently losing, especially maybe in these last few weeks, you're losing a pound and a half, something like that. And then you get to maybe week 9 or 10, and now you're starting to see that scale slow down or even stop. And in addition to that, your hunger is coming back, right? Maybe you're not even really getting great appetite suppression even right after you take your shot, right? So a lot of people will see the half-life effect, and maybe on end of day 5 and day 6, they will see some of their appetite come back and some hunger. But if you're seeing that really throughout the whole week, that again is probably another indication that you might want to consider titrating up. Also the food noise. Again, if you are experiencing food noise throughout the week, perhaps you've reached a dose that is no longer really working for you. Now, that being said, let's say it's just your weight that is either slowed down, and by weight I mean weight loss, has either slowed down or perhaps stalled for a bit. But those other two things, are really fine. You're not really any hungrier during the week. You just sort of see the normal thing at the end of the week, and you're not really experiencing any food noise during the week. Then I would still caution you about titrating up. I think first, you really need to look at what you're doing as far as your diet. And I don't mean diet as in, what diet you're on. I mean, what you're putting into your body. What food are you putting into your body on a daily basis? Are you tracking what you're eating? Are you really staying in your calorie deficit? Or has maybe, now that you're kind of into it, are you maybe not weighing things anymore? And so maybe your portion sizes are increasing, but, it's just, like I said, kind of been a gradual thing over time. Have you stopped drinking as much water? Are you not getting some daily movement in? Those kind of things. So I would encourage you to look at exactly what you're doing if the only thing you're seeing as far as potentially titrating up is either a slowdown or a lack of weight loss. So my point in all this is, if you're losing, stay at whatever dose you're on for as long as possible, especially if you're somebody that has a significant amount of weight to lose. You are going to want to make sure that you maximize the number of weeks that you stay on a dose before you titrate up. Because if you look at any YouTube creators or on the Facebook groups, you'll find people who unfortunately were counseled to titrate up every 4 weeks based on how the studies were done, and then they get to the max dose. So in the instance of tirzepatide, that's 15 milligrams. So your 6th month, you're now at the highest dose. You may find that your body sort of gets used to the medicine and isn't losing as well once you get there. And once you get there, there's no place else to go. So there are definitely people out there who have found themselves, having titrated up on that sort of study schedule that then get to a point where their weight loss has stalled. But I think the biggest piece of advice is just don't think that you have to titrate up every 4 weeks. Stick with a dose for as long as possible that it's working for you. All right, this is an interesting one because it's kind of a mixed bag, but myth number 5, you can eat whatever you want. That generally comes from a lot of the naysayers, right? Those people who are on, trolling some of the social media accounts who, think that this is just for the lack of a better term, a free lunch, or, you're cheating the system by using this medication and you can, just eat whatever you want. Again, this is a yes and a no answer. So the first part you can eat whatever you want. No, that's not true. Okay? You can't eat, in excess of a calorie deficit and lose weight. Okay? This is physics here. Okay? Calories are energy. And in order to lose weight, your body needs to expend more energy than it is taking in, okay? That is simply a function of physics. So if, let's say, you need to eat 1,500 calories to be in a calorie deficit, and that will, according to the TDEE calculator, give you, maybe a half a pound to a pound a week weight loss. If you're eating 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 calories, you're not gonna lose the weight. So from that perspective, no, you cannot eat anything you want. The flip side to that is, yes, you can eat anything you want within reason, right? So if what you're eating fits within that 1,500 calories a day, and you really, really, really want to eat pizza or pasta or some like carb heavy food, then eat it. If it fits within your daily caloric budget, then eat it. Now, obviously, we all want to be healthy, which means we all want to eat a nutritionally balanced meal. And so when you talk about, can you eat anything you want? Yes, you can, but you do want to make smart choices, right? So back to the losing muscle aspect, you do want to try to focus as much as you can on a high protein diet. So, you want to eat protein first probably. But again, if that means you get to the end of your meal at dinner and you've got 150 calories left in your day and there's a cookie sitting there that you really want to eat and it's 150 calories, eat the cookie. It's not going to hurt you. If you've hit your protein goals for the day and you've gotten in some vegetables and fiber, etc., then go for it. So my point is this sort of fallacy that people have that it's the medicine and is making you lose weight and you don't have to do anything, you can eat whatever you want, completely false. Number 6, and this is specific to compounding only, and that is that all compounds are created equal. They are not. So I will be doing, as I said, an entire video on telehealth, which will also obviously touch on compounding pharmacies, etc. But the idea here is you really need to do your research and investigate where your compounding medicine is coming from. You want to be using a reputable telehealth company and that company uses reputable and well-known compounding pharmacies. Do not, I repeat, do not get your medicine through a med spa, okay? Or from somebody selling drugs on a Facebook group or on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or anything like that, okay? You need to know that your prescription, and it is a prescription that has to be written by a doctor, that it's coming from, like I said, a reputable compounding pharmacy. I don't frankly think that I would trust any local compounding pharmacy. There has been a lot of issues, especially on the semaglutide side, of using the semaglutide salt, which is my understanding where they either use that as the basis of the compound or that they send this like powder to you and you're supposed to add water to it to make the liquid to inject. It just, you don't want to do it. And going to a med spa where they give you the injections, so I think that's, sort of like their selling point, right? Like, oh, well, you'll come in once a week and we'll give you your injection. Okay, you have no idea what that medicine is in that syringe that they're giving you. You have no idea where it's coming from, what's in it. Same thing as if you go to a med spa and maybe they give you your first dose and then they hand you 3 other syringes for you to do at home. Again, you have no idea what's in that syringe. That is incredibly dangerous. Please, please do not do that. Again, do not buy medicine off of the internet. And by that, I mean from, somebody trying to sell you, oh, I have extra medicine, because I went off and I'm done or whatever. So I'll send you my zepbound or my mounjaro or my ozempic, whatever. Another thing to be extremely wary of is a med spa that says that they are selling you a named brand drug. So if they are saying to you, oh yeah, come to our med spa and you can get, mounjaro or you can get Ozempic, absolutely not. Again, only a doctor can prescribe those medicines and only pharmacies can provide branded medication, okay? So please, 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 all compounds are not created equal, and please don't put yourself at a health risk by buying something on the internet that seems way too cheap, way too good to be true. That adage holds firm here. If it seems too good to be true, it is. All right, the last myth, and the one that I frankly think is the biggest myth out there, and I've touched on this in my, troll video talking about the negative comment that Winnie B. LV got, and that is that this is an easy way out. That is by far the most inaccurate thing that I've ever heard. Because again, these drugs don't cause you to lose weight. If you take these drugs and are somehow able to out-eat the drugs, so by that I mean, yes, the drugs help by slowing down your digestive process, by sending signals to your brain that you're full already, those kind of things, by taking away the food noise. But if you sort of override that and take in, a whole bag of chips or an entire, quart of ice cream, something like that, you can out-eat this medication. The medication itself does not cause you to lose weight. Does it help you lose weight by, like I said, taking away food noise and suppressing your appetite and making you think that you are full perhaps before your stomach is really full by sending those signals to your brain? Absolutely yes. But what you do with that is what's important. So you still, like I said, talking about number 5, eating whatever you want, you still have to eat in a calorie deficit. You still need to move your body again to increase your metabolism and help aid in that calorie deficit, to add, more to that calorie deficit by doing some extra physical activity. This is all in your control. The medicine is a tool to help you, but it does not cause weight loss. So for people to say that this medicine is the easy way out, to me, is an absolute myth. Now, by that, do they mean sort of this idea that you have to punish yourself and you have to be miserable and you have to, be white knuckling it because, you're only eating 1,200 calories and you're starving and, you're exhausted and whatever? If that's how you feel that what you have to go through and, and spending 3 hours a day in the gym or something, if that's your perspective on that's the only way that you can lose weight, or that if somebody does that, that's the only way that you think that they really lost weight, then I can't help you. The fact of the matter is, like I said, this is physics. Calories in and energy out. So if you are not in a deficit, you're not going to lose weight. So I really implore you to know and to understand yourself, if you are taking these medications, that you are doing an amazing job, that you are not taking the easy way out. Yes, you're getting some help, but it's the help that those of us who have had chronic weight conditions our entire life or have type 2 diabetes, it's the help that we need to level the playing field and be able to lose weight and then keep it off in the future. So again, I think you're doing an incredible job, so keep it up. So that's it, guys. Those are the 7 myths that I wanted to debunk today about taking a GLP-1 agonist medicine. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it informative and hopefully helpful. If you did, I would love it if you would give the video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below, are there any other myths that I didn't think of, that I missed, that we can talk about in the comments and decide, is that something that really is true, or is it a myth? Like I said, I would love to have a dialogue in the comments with you. If you haven't subscribed and you like this kind of content, I would invite you to click the subscribe button and the notification bell, and so that you're coming back for every video. I would love to see you again. And if you have not had enough of me quite yet, there'll be another video over here on the side for you to click on and watch. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care.